I just work a lot, Mary. That's it. I got a lot of mouths to feed. You know what I mean,
Your wife a stay at home wife?
mm-mm.
Okay.
Kinda. This nigga. So DC is so. It's go. You know how like when they took back Roe versus Wade, right? DC went all the way the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a safe haven for abortion. And then they also, in terms of if you're pregnant, they went from like 4 to 6 weeks of maternal leave. And then they give you 10 days for like your appointments. So you have to go to your appointments. They give you like days that you can just take up to 10.
That's it.
But that just for appointments though. Like if you got to go to the doctor, you know what I'm saying? Because
Down here in
usually,
Florida, down here in Florida, we get 8 to 12 weeks paid, and then you get a year
well, that wouldn't be a
of
man. That's a
just
school
leave.
thing.
No, I'm
Or
talking.
that's a job thing though.
Yeah.
So like DC for the school because she works in the school
Oh,
system.
she working in school. Okay.
Yeah, they like up those things, right? And they just gave them like sick leave for appointments, you know. When
Hmm.
generally you just have to use your annual leave, your PTO. So it's real real. I guess I would say maybe that might be progressive in a way. I don't know.
That's good.
'Cause, other countries they work 4 days a week. They have siestas during the day. You get two couple months, 3-4 months of uh, PTO things of that nature.
Hmm.
They give women half the year off when they have babies, just different. So I guess we're moving in that direction. Maybe that can be considered progressive.
Hopefully.
hmm But we almost at that stay at home stage, almost.
And they got paternal leave now too, which is really good
For who?
for the fathers to stay home. Well, down
Where?
here, at least in Florida.
I don't know if it's a state mandate. I think it's based on your job. Like if you work a private sector, right? It would depend on the company in which you work.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know any job that doesn't provide that. That it's at, I think it's at least like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2
we
weeks.
don't have it at my company. You guys got that shit, Bob? Paternal leave
Yeah.
or Adrian?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie, you
Maybe
got that?
how would you feel if your husband stayed at home?
If my husband stayed at home,
Yeah.
oh, I wouldn't care.
I would
Yes, you
care.
would.
But but you worked.
I would care.
I don't have a problem working.
Nah, you would care.
I was real independent before him.
You like men, Mary. You don't like, and I feel like you like a certain type of man. You ain't gonna be like,
I do,
all
I
right,
do,
honey, I'll be
I do
back.
like a manly man. But if he wanted, his demeanor and who he is, he can't sit still. So he would never accept that.
That ain't
Now,
the
if he
question.
wanted to,
That ain't the
whatever.
question. That
Sure.
ain't the question. See, this the shit I'm talking about. That ain't the
You asked
question.
me if I would, I wouldn't mind. Like if you want to
But
stay
we
home,
saying he's saying in a vacuum. It's talking about you, not him.
if if he want to stay home, like what's the problem?
Whatever, man. This might be
Stay
risky.
home
We
a
here.
long time.
DJ Hampton Stampede, we in the building. Shout out to the panel, of course. Thank you everybody for filing in. Mary was saying something, but I stopped listening. So shout out to that. Cue it up though.
What up, Hamp?
Ain't shit. Why you put the Barry White on me, nigga?
I'm gonna put the Barry White on you.
You have to use a deep voice with me. You can't seduce me. Is that a Ninja Turtles hat?
Huh? Fucking hilarious. Him, you be trying. You be
Oh, that's a
reaching.
tap out hat. It's a
reaching.
tap out hat, right?
Yeah.
A word. Yeah. The owner of that, he actually died. I think it was a car accident. They were one of the pioneers of like mixed martial arts and shit like that. So shout out to Tap Out. What's up, Isha?
I'm here, so I
Let
don't
me
get
say something to
fined.
you. Don't start leaning on your hand. It's too early for that shit. Come on, man. Yeah, do all that. Clap, jump, whatever you gotta
You
do.
start and you pick it. I'm here.
Get you a Red Bull or something. Mary, I see you got your lashes on. Yeah, last week you was bald. I ain't like that shit. I got
I'm
a
begging
clip.
that you stop playing.
Indeed, I got a clip ready for your ass just in case you start talking shit. I got a picture of you. I'm gonna put up here, zoomed in.
Still look good. Don't matter.
Word. Alex, what up though?
Hey, Hamp.
Man, you time travel. What you in 1996?
What you mean?
No, I'm just saying with the hoop earrings and all that. I see you.
I wear them all the time.
Stop. Come on.
I really do. I promise.
Put him in a fucking bed.
Adrian, have you seen her with hoop earrings?
Never.
I really do.
Man, yo, we see you every week.
Okay, normally when I come on here, I don't, but when I'm out and about, I have my hoops in.
Oh my god, niggas just saying anything. Eddie, what up though?
9 o'clock at
What
night.
one?
Everything good?
Everything good, brethren.
Yo, they said Mary said I was biased with my introductions and shit. She said I don't be talking shit to the guys. That's not true, right? Remember I used to talk about the foodgasm and shit?
All the time.
Yeah, thank you. See, Mary?
Put him in a fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Bub, what up though?
I'm here, man. I'm happy to be here, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, we ain't seen you, man. We ain't seen you. Where your microphone at and shit?
Oh man, I'm on some bozo shit, you know.
Bozo, I haven't heard that in a minute.
Like a poop putt, man.
Yeah, I left my my equipment at my establishment, so I'm here though, yo. I'm here.
Where I can dig it. Adrian was good.
Facts was good. Was good, everybody.
They don't understand. They don't understand that you said everybody and nobody. They just it's weird.
Because you go in on the whole bottom row.
Right.
But
That's exactly what I was thinking as he said that. I'm like, let's see what it goes.
What's up,
You
Adrian?
try to justify one time.
The difference between black men and women has to stop. You said
thank
everybody.
You for speaking back, Alex. I appreciate you speaking back, Alex.
Yeah, what-
I said it was good, everybody. I appreciate that, Alex.
I was
Yeah,
taking
man.
a sip. Excuse me.
Okay, boss.
Bub got all the excuses today.
Mary,
What?
hold on a second. Wait, what were you saying? What were you saying?
What? How you going on everybody?
Yeah, what was that about?
What you trying to get me to say, him?
No, I'm saying you said I go in on the bottom and not the top. Explain yourself. What you mean by that?
You went in on the whole bottom row to start the introduction, and then
Played you.
yo, I cannot stand.
Let's get it started.
Let's go.
Oh shit. Set her ass up. I had to bait you too. I thought you was catching on for a second.
I knew you was doing something.
And then I couldn't find the video, so I had to pause for a second. Oh man, word. Hey, welcome. So said coming up, Kenneth getting his shit right. So they're gonna join us soon. Listen, man, this might be risky. We in the building. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. If you watching, the easiest and the freest thing to do is to hit the like button. That don't cost you anything. Don't take no brain power, none of that. And that pushes the channel the most. You know what I mean? Hit the subscribe button, not that much energy. And then, of course, if you share, you got to do a little bit more, but just share it to one person. Then that person will share it to one person and we grow just like that. You know what I mean? So, welcome to the beautiful panel. Everybody looks amazing. Let's get this shit started. So, of course, that rant before Nori took it down, but I'm gonna use the word rant. I think that term could be subjective based on how you saw Kanye's interview with Nori. That's part 3, the third one. And this one seems to be the most controversial as Nori removed it. But it's funny. It had backlash as soon as they dropped it, but they waited till that shit hit 3 million views before they removed it. Because them view counts equal money. I just wanted to put that out there. So it's a 3 hour and 41-minute interview. Obviously, we can't play the whole thing, but there's one video. It has a reaction that I want to play, and then it has a little bit of Kanye recapping it. So it's about 7 minutes long. We probably won't get through the whole thing, but we just want to set the floor. Is that all right with everybody? All right, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it.
Good.
Good.
Let me know if you can hear it.
Uncomfortable with the success I'm having. When you watch the whole Kanye thing play out,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on sort of the monolith, the way he sort of has been describing Jews as this big agenda? Because I know you have relationships with all different kinds of Jewish people.
Yes, yes, I do. You know, I think he's in a dangerous area. You know what I mean? Like, not too many. I think, look, I'll forgive him for the things that he said because I already identified with something's going on that I don't understand yet.
50 reacts to Kanye's Drink Champ interview. Catch me with my commentary at the end. I'm Prophet.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's become his new mannerisms and his behaviors consistently with just doing things like even the White Lives Matter. There's nothing for me to say about it. I watch it take place and I just look and I go, okay, yeah, that's him doing what he does, like what Kanye would do. And a lot of it, even the original Trump support thing was a little out there for me. You know what I'm saying? But everybody looks at things, they navigate things differently. You know, and one week is I don't want my kid.
All right. So let's do this.
So you don't know exactly what.
Right.
You're not wrong about that.
Yeah, crazy's unpredictable.
Right. So let's break down the first part, right? Because Rosenberg, if you guys don't know, that's a Jewish last name predominantly. And Rosenberg is Jewish here. So they kick it off with that automatically. And you notice 50 says what, right? He does have a lot of Jewish associates or whatever the case is. And you know how, and he said verbatim he's wrong for that or something to that nature, maybe not verbatim. So when in the interview Kanye's talking about being anti-Semitic, right? And what that means, right? And you know how he was saying like I can't be anti-Semitic because I am Semitic. So do you think that Kanye was being anti-Semitic in what he was saying in the interview? Because that's the leading thing, which is what they're trying to cancel him for.
No.
No.
What did you say, Adrian?
No.
Isha?
Beauty. Just
You
want
on
to take your
mute.
picture.
I don't know.
You saw it though, right?
Did I see the interview? No.
All right. Q, was you
No,
think he was? Okay.
no, I don't.
Barry?
I didn't see the interview.
Well, what did you do?
What?
Alex?
No.
Jesus Christ. All right. Eddie, why you think not?
The word Semite is a descriptor of the original African Jew, right? What you know now is Jews, as they call themselves Jewish, because that's what they are, right? They absorbed or use the word stole our culture from us prior to us losing that identity, or most of us losing that identity, right? So you are known as a Semite, right? So you can't technically, it's all wordplay, it's all chess, it's all manipulation. So black people, as we stand, we cannot be anti-Semite or anti-Semitic. It's basically being anti yourself. But if you don't read, you don't know any better, you would think like, oh man, I'm being racist or I'm discriminating or what have you. No, that's not the case. So when Kanye says it's impossible for me to be an anti-Semite, is because you are the Semitic, Black, Afro, Asiatic people. So there's no way that you can be something that you already are, right? Or not be something that you already are. So it's a wordplay that Farrakhan has said this, Malcolm X has said this, other teachers have said this shit. You know, these people play games with words and they utilize such in order to abuse us even further because they know that our people don't fucking read. So, but you can't be an anti-Semite. You are a damn Semite.
Question. I want to go to Bub with this question. So, if what Eddie's saying is factual, right?
Mhm.
Is it possible to be your anti yourself though? For example, robbing, stealing, killing in your music, let's say, or in the streets. um, you know, sexualizing our women as we do. Would that be anti us if that's not positive?
Um, no, I don't think so.
How
I
come?
don't think so. Um, just getting back to Kanye, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything Kanye said was opinion based, right? So like, so I would say, I would say this term was uh was brought up by Lo Duval. He said he always says like our people always fake mad about some shit, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
like I love that term because we are always fake mad about some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything, the majority of the shit that Kanye said, right? A lot of people think a lot of our own people or industry people say behind the scenes, but he's the only one that come out publicly and say it, right? And we're calling them anti-Semitic. Shit don't make no sense at all. You know what I'm saying? So now we calling him crazy, but now we calling him a clown, but we still supporting him, right? So peep game. I don't think it's the message, man. I don't think it's the message. I think it's the messenger, right? So just like you said, we pick and choose, we pick and choose what we give power to, right? So
Mm-hmm.
right now in this specific situation, we giving power to Kanye West from based off of what he said in a couple of interviews. Why? He ain't one of our fucking leaders. You know what I'm saying? Kanye don't hold no weight. The CIA ain't looking for Kanye. The FBI ain't looking for Kanye. All this shit is fucking opinion based, but our own people are in a uproar because you know why? Because it's Kanye. You feel me? Like, come on with this bullshit, man. Like you just said, we could spew all this rhetoric and shit in our music, and everybody loves it. It sells. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But when you attack a quote unquote specific race or group of people, now it's a big issue for some. For some, not all, but for some. Like I said, everything, the majority of the shit he was saying was opinion based. He's going out there, he's spewing this shit out of his own mouth. But now you got people like Nori apologizing on his behalf and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because why is Nori apologizing for it? Nori, you ain't say what the fuck he said. You
Mm-hmm.
allowed him to come on your platform. And just like you said about 3 minutes ago, you know why he did that? For the views. Now over the years, I've noticed that there's no such thing as bad publicity now. You
Mm-hmm.
can do nothing wrong in this world. As long as people are talking about you, Gucci. That's why every goddamn couple of months, Kanye keep coming out saying some wild shit, and everybody's in an uproar. For what? Y'all still gonna go buy his music. Y'all still gonna go buy his shoes, and y'all gonna forget about all this shit next week and move on to something else. It's crazy to me. So no, 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 no.
Okay. That was a couple different points that we should be able to get to today. Q. So was he anti-Semitic in his comment?
I said no. For some of the same reasons I talked about him on last week. I think Kanye is brilliant. I think that Kanye is going to speak accordingly to be able to do what he needs to do for business. And I think that Kanye has shown that he's not anti or prejudiced to anything. If anything, he may come out, like I said, next week with what I love Jewish people shirts. Like this is Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Um he's not I don't think that he's as aloof as everybody likes to make him seem.
But this is the first time they canceled, like he was taken off all the social media platforms and stuff. So that didn't happen previously when he did what we would deem like marketing tactics, I guess. So what
Yeah.
would you say then? Like, how is he going to bounce back so easily this time?
I think again, it's like it's the people. When the people fuck with you, it don't matter what anybody does. Like the people fuck with Kanye, regardless. You know, nothing's shown that. Oh, he's. You think about all the quote unquote extreme things that he's done and said over the years. Why is he still relevant now?
What did he say?
All types of shit.
Like what?
He was saying that slavery was a choice that had people feeling away. You know, so
What people?
getting lipo that had people feeling away.
What people though?
It's the people of society. Yeah, like wasn't it? But did anybody not feel anything?
Was it society or was it niggas? If you offend people that aren't empowered, does it matter?
What do you? And I'm not following your question.
Well, because you said slavery. Go ahead. Well, you said slavery is a choice. Maybe the white lives matter.
Are you implying that there are other people from outside of the black race that didn't find that to be a stupid ass statement?
Were there some? Maybe, but I'm saying.
So that's what I'm. But like, okay.
No,
so
they didn't give a
what
fuck.
I'm saying is.
I'm saying. Let me just say it. They didn't
Question,
care. They didn't care.
What I'm saying is to answer your question. That's based on my observation. So if there's a better answer you have for my question that you asked me, then you can say it. But that's just me speaking from. Like I don't
I'm just saying,
understand.
like, if you offend the people that don't have power, does it matter?
What do you mean people who don't have power? Power to what extent? Because if the people are buying his shit,
they didn't care, right? And then niggas still bought the shit.
Right. But only black people buy Kanye shit?
Well, that's what I'm saying. White people didn't care. Chinese people didn't care that he said about slavery was a choice. And then the people who should have cared still bought the shit.
Right.
What you think, Alex?
I don't think his comment was anti-Semitic. However, I do feel like Kanye pissed off the right group of people who have power. If we are speaking and him saying that, the Jewish community has a stronghold on the black culture in a sense, or just business period. I think when people say things about the Jewish community, when I've heard things being said about them, you are immediately canceled. Similar to when people say things about the LGBTQI community or the trans community. Like, it's the minute you say something like that, oh my gosh, you're canceled, right? I feel like this time he upset the wrong people, and you upset the people who have power to pull your shit, who are going to say, you know what? We're not going to play you here. We're going to take your things down. I do agree with you, Ham, that we were so outraged as black people, but people still went out and bought his sneakers. People still went out and supported his live stream when he did his dumbass concert on Apple. People still go out and they buy his music, and people are like, oh, but he's a genius, but he's a this. So it doesn't matter if he upsets us. I think he may feel it now a little bit more because now he's being removed. And I think Bub mentioned it about Lori. I think that was dumb as shit. You knew what you were doing. You knew the risk that you took when you went ahead and you interviewed Kanye West again after everything that went on, right? And then after you received the backlash, you waited for other people to say that wasn't a really good move. And for me, I'm wondering if it was a business thing that people behind the scenes are like, you need to take that shit down, or we're also going to pull Drink Champs. Because I feel like if that's what you felt, if you really interviewed him because you wanted to give him this platform, let him say what he wants to say.
Okay. Mary, Aisha, I know you guys didn't see it. So he was implicating. So the one thing that Rosenberg got wrong, in my opinion, is when he's saying that Jewish people are a monolith and he was attacking the community. He said very explicitly, maybe 60 times during an interview, Jewish media. Like, he made a distinction almost every single time. And then he said Jewish people when he said they don't kill each other, they don't rob each other. So he was asking, and then he said he's jealous of them because they don't have some of that going on in the community like we do. And so it's almost like he said Jewish, and automatically he was saying the Jewish media had a stronghold on our culture because they own the record labels and the channels and the, you know what I mean? So they saw that as anti-Semitic. What do you guys think?
I think everything he said, he had a point. But
Not
he's the only
Bub.
one saying
Not
it.
Bub. The two niggas that didn't see the interview in the whole world.
By the time I went to look, they took it down, but I don't think he was being anti-Semitic. But they had enough power that he eventually apologized. And I
Who
don't think
did?
I've ever heard Kanye apologize for anything that he's ever said or done.
He
He
apologized?
apologizes often.
Kanye
Wait,
apologized for everything that he does.
He apologized?
He
I
did.
missed that. What did he
He
say?
he
I
said
missed that
something
too.
about I was hurt and hurt people hurt people.
Right.
Oh.
So I apologize for the hurt people, but I don't know if he
I don't know if that's
apologized for the
valid for
comments.
apology, but
That's pretty
nonetheless.
I wouldn't count it as an apology.
So he said hurt people because in the interview he talked bad about Puff, he talked bad about Meek, he said a little bit about Hove. So to Eddie's point, was he talking about them? Did they reinstate him with anything?
I don't think they
After this?
reinstated him with anything as of yet, but I did. The clip that I seen was more towards the Jewish comment that he made, and he apologized if he hurt anybody. I think specifically because I was thinking he was going to apologize to like the George Floyd comment that he made, but he didn't.
So I didn't see that. Did you guys see the alleged apology?
Yeah,
No.
I did. It was on social media.
I feel like he's apologized previously for saying other things, whether he puts it in his song or he comes out with a statement. My intention was this and my intention was that. Then he'll release the text messages. The most vivid one I remember was when the push Drake, the back and forth that they were having, and then he came out and apologized, and then he was giving Drake all of this praise, and it's been a nonstop train of Drake this, Drake that, Drake this, Drake that, after he did what he did in the past towards Drake and incited that beef between him and Pusha T.
Okay. Damn. So Eddie, what did he say exactly in this particular apology?
He was just referencing that, when he was talking about, to your earlier point, that he was specifically talking about Jewish media, not necessarily Jewish people.
Oh.
Right. So he made that distinction, and he was talking about how, sometimes he doesn't always articulate things well, but now that he's much more calm, like he understands this and that. He spoke about Nori, that Nori's a good dude, but he was just like, they proved his point. All the backlash basically proved this point. Like everybody's walking on eggshells now because they're scared of the little hats. So
absolutely.
Okay. Damn. Fuck me, man. I guess, but do you look at it?
Hold on. How you feeling, Hemp? You know what I'm saying? Expound on those emotions, but I know you ask all the questions, but I want to know your thoughts.
Man, that shit's crazy. I'm gonna look at it to see if it's more of a clarification, and he didn't withdraw his statements, because I don't think what he said was anti-Semitic. Like when Eddie was giving when he was breaking it down, so there's three sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So Semitic is Shemitic. So if you come from Shem, you wouldn't be anti-Semitic because you are Shem. So that's one of the other points in that. You know what I mean? But that makes me sad because I thought he was gonna be the one to stand on it. So I hope he was just giving clarification rather than just withdrawing it like Nick Cannon and what's the receiver that played for the Eagles? And the Rams and the Raiders, Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
They took it back as well.
It's funny you brought up Nick Cannon and him, because that's what I was gonna say next. Like, I was gonna ask you guys if y'all remember the Nick Cannon situation when he got quote unquote canceled for a couple of months. Why did he get canceled? What per se group canceled him? Who had ownership of what he thought was all his? Who was able to put Nick Cannon on the back burner for a little while?
Yeah. Little hats.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Damn.
For having an opinion.
All right, let me play this clip right here. You guys can see it.
Yeah.
That the shop decided not to air their episode because they didn't want to give Kanye West's hate speech a platform.
So she just mentioned LeBron's The Shop and how they didn't air the episode that they did with Kanye.
According to their press release.
So that brings us to our friend Nori, who's with us right now. Nori and EFN decided to have Kanye back on Drink Champs. And I guess I'll start here, Nori. What was the logic for you guys in giving him the platform to come on and talk with you?
Well, the logic was the same way you guys are giving me the platform. I think you guys have love for me. You guys have respect for me. You guys think that I should have a say. There wouldn't be no Drink Champs if it wasn't for me coming to this very show and doing my expressions. You know what I'm saying? I remember I came up with the idea to do Drink Champs after Prodigy wrote his book. And Prodigy wrote his book, and I had to have a rebuttal because obviously I was in the book. You know what I mean? And I would come up to this show, I would come up to the other show, and I started to realize that, you know what? I should have my own show. So this started from there. Now with Ye, I have a relationship with Ye. You know, when he was going through a lot of things that he was going through, he would call me and he would actually listen to me and take my advice. So I felt I could control the situation. I felt that I could control the interview, and I've learned early on that I didn't. Like, you know, as a black man, I feel like I failed. As a human, I feel like I failed. But as a journalist, I succeeded because as a journalist, you're not really supposed to have an opinion. You're supposed to let people talk. And my biggest critique on Drink Champs is, Nori, you always cut people off. And this is the one time I didn't cut the people. I thought I should just stick to what the script is and cut everyone off. But
Shut
I
up.
sincerely
Shut up.
apologize to anybody that hurt by Kanye's words, by Kanye's actions.
It's just bullshit.
Shut up, please. Please shut
So,
up. Shut up.
So
I
Kenny,
ain't
you
trying to hear
could,
none of that.
so you could jump in. So, right, they took the interview down. Right, he apologized. He pleaded his case, as you can see on Hot 97. Once again, Rosenberg is Jewish, right? So you can comment on that, but I also got a question: like, are we not allowed to share our opinions anymore? Go ahead, Ken. What you think?
I think it's some bullshit. Look, Nori, like you talking about as a black man and all this, you should have thought about being a black man while you was on the panel. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you did not agree with what he said, you should have said it in the interview. There isn't, oh, I was inebriated. Oh, you know, it was too far gone. No, Nick, if you was offended, then you should have said something. Don't come on the hate train afterwards with everybody else because you don't want to get your little show canceled. You know what I'm saying? Because after the interview, he was on IG talking about his views up and niggas is hating on him because he got views. He was boasting like immediately afterwards. And then once the hate train started, that's when he started backtracking, you know, back dancing, back flipping, and pussy popping. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't backflip and pussy pop on a handstand. Say what you mean and mean what you say.
Yeah.
Don't come back pedaling. I don't like it because I feel like it's bullshit. You know,
Word.
and with the whole, you know, anti-Semitic stuff. If you say Jewish people will be Jewish people, they will say you're anti-Semitic. Like that sentence alone, Jewish people will Jewish, and they will say that's anti-Semitic. The problem comes when, you know, when things like this happen and we see like how people thrust their power, you know what I'm saying, over conversation. There was nothing wrong with what he said. There was nothing, you know what I'm saying? Well, except for the George Floyd stuff. That was like, you know what I'm saying? Buddy, you're lying now. Now you're lying. Now with the real Jew stuff, I could rock with it. But when you talking about the cause of death, see, that's stamped as you're a liar. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like, you know, when people show their power, we like be like, oh, they have real power. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we can have the same power too, but we choose not to. You know what I'm saying? Like when they bust and thrust their power, we get offended. We have a problem with it because we're censored. You know what I'm saying? Like when the alphabet folks, when they start calling shots and doing the hate train, niggas be like, oh, they have power. Well, y'all, we can have the same power. Like, but we just choose not to. So the
Okay.
outrage is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's typical, but until real pushback happens, you'll continue the whole apology tour, taking back, you know what I'm saying? Just stand in what you say. I mean, you'll get consequences anyway, left or right. So
So Kenny, are you saying that slavery was a choice?
I agree that slavery was a choice.
I felt that in my chakra.
Yeah, slavery is a whole choice. Now, I disagree with, because I feel like you're not supposed to agree with a person like 100%. You know what I'm saying? So I disagree with like some of Kanye's like points because he doesn't read. The nigga said he don't read, and we know like by the looks of things that you don't read. You know what I'm saying? So you're not like the big time intellectual. So of course, I'm not going to just agree with everything because half of you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But for the stuff that makes sense, I rock with it. Slavery is a choice. It was a choice. Now, it was a bad choice. You know what I'm saying? It was a bad one. Pretty tough one. I couldn't imagine myself in a situation. I know I'll be rebelled out. You know what I'm saying? Probably get killed with a boo wham. You know what I'm saying? But it's a choice. We choose to brush our teeth in the morning. I mean, it's not slavery, but you don't have. You could go to work and with stinky breath. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying that they should have fought the bullets with their hands and shit like that?
I mean, are they going to kill everybody? Because technically they need you. Technically, the clear people cannot do what we did because they would die out there in the sun. They carry all of these diseases that we don't carry. You know what I'm saying? So technically they needed us to build the whole foundation and the fabric of America. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to kill us all. That's my thing. There was rebellions like busting out left and right. It wasn't just Nat Turner, you know what I'm saying? So like things happen, but I feel like when it comes down to freedom, nigga, put your life on the line. Period.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Kenny, I was with you in the beginning, but I'm not even gonna entertain the last few 60 seconds that you just spewed out. And rightfully so. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, is it not a choice? Like in all honesty, right? Like I get it. It's bad. You can't even imagine. Like it was really harsh circumstances. I totally get it. We couldn't imagine in today's time some Jeffrey Dahmer, like 1,000 times Jeffrey Dahmer. I totally get it.
Yo, Kenny, I'm gonna hit you with this real quick, and then I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off of it because I don't even like to entertain stuff like that, right? Let's say you go to sleep tonight, right? You live with somebody?
I live alone.
All right, let's say somebody set fire to your house 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and drag you out of your house, out of your sleep, beat you silly with all types of whips, chains, sticks, and what have you. All right, so and they enslave you. So you're telling me that's your choice to be enslaved? You just got your house just got set on fire. You got woken up in wee hours in the morning, beat and whipped. So you telling me that's your choice to continue to take that beating and that whipping?
Yes, hello. What do you mean? It is a choice.
If you think about it, Bub, you could choose that or that.
Let's just move right along. I'm not even going to entertain that.
No, but it's not a
don't even do it, Bub. Don't even go into it.
You're not
Don't even go into it, bro.
Wait.
I'm not even going to entertain that. And that's the same type of energy we should be able to give Kanye. I'm not even going to entertain that right there, though.
No, but listen though.
Kenny, no, I'm not listening.
Why ask a question if you're not going to entertain? You don't get to do that with me, buddy. Bubba Spark. You don't get to do that, Bubba. You don't get to do that with me, Bubba Spark.
Bubba, you put yourself on mute.
You don't ask a question. You don't ask a question.
Kenny, give him a concise answer.
Okay. So
there is no concise answer. The fuck is y'all?
Dude just said that I was awakened out of. So someone broke into my home, right?
Okay.
Someone broke into my home here in the Bronx, right? They just broke it down. You know what I'm saying? Boom, got me up out my sleep. Yank. fire. You know what I'm saying? And then they put me in the dungeon. They put me in a dungeon with everybody else with shit all over themselves and stuff and pee and all that stuff. They put me in a dungeon, right? So boom, I gotta go to work tomorrow. They making me go to work tomorrow and get my ass beat, tomorrow. And then I go back to the dungeon at nighttime. And then in the morning time, the next day, I go back out there and get my ass beat. I get it. But I could just choose to die. I could
that's
choose.
not understood, Kenny. I don't get
can
it.
choose to die.
Well, so let me just give you a little bit more perspective, right? The people that were enslaved, right? They have beliefs too, right? So even and especially they were, if people want to say that they were introduced to Christianity here, right? But one of the main principles is suicide is a sin. So if people are heavy in their beliefs, is that an option for them, right? So you just got to consider it. Now, here's one thing that Bub needs to put into his hypothetical. They're doing whipping, beating, right, in front of the other slaves, but they're doing it to Mike Tyson. So it's not just anybody. It's the toughest nigga at the fucking what do they plantation.
Exactly.
And they doing him dirty. So Joe Schmo,
No, they beat them, they raping them, they doing everything imaginable to the biggest, baddest motherfucker that they think is the biggest, baddest motherfucker.
So you're
not jumping out there. Period. You're not.
Right.
Okay, what you said.
Psychological conditioning.
Hold on,
So
I think
now it took for
my
somebody
mic
to
gotta
unlearn
be
that.
my mic gotta be fucking broken. Got to be. Is it? Adrian, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So look,
your joint working, bro.
all right, I'm just making sure. So you just want to keep that into perspective, Kenny, and people go with the flow, right? The Joneses. So if Mike ain't fighting back no more, is you know what I mean? Is the less of a man gonna keep fighting back, right? And then also the insurrections that you mentioned, the movie about 12. What's the movie? The one that about Nat Turner they just came out with.
Oh, he's a slave.
No. Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
He never made it to Jerusalem. He didn't even get close. So now Denmark Vesey, they killed him in South Carolina before he even got off the plantation. The same with Gabriel Proctor. He was transpiring and the other slaves told on him because there's too many people with broken minds. So I just want to give y'all that with some history because you mentioned some other insurrections. So you guys can look up Gabriel Prosser, sorry. You know what I mean? So just in case, if you guys care to look it up. Go ahead, Sed, or did you want to just fill in on that, Kenny?
I'm not even touching that shit. That ain't even got nothing what we talking about right now. But in regards to the Kanye West shit, his intelligence, even though a lot of people be like he doesn't read, he doesn't do that, I really think people really shouldn't listen to what he says overall, because at the end of the day, he wants people to think he's dumb. He wants people to think he's in a certain frame of mind, but he knows our people will continue to follow him regardless of what he does. It's shown, it's evident. I think the problem is because he is getting so much money and he is making so much money, now the power that be are saying, okay, we can't get them to cancel him out themselves. So now we got to figure out a way to slow this momentum that he has, because no matter what he does and how he does it, this fool walking around in these big ass snow boots, and there's people out here wearing them like they fashion. Them Yeezys, all that shit is ugly as fuck. And people are actually wearing this shit like this shit is cool because it has a price tag, and it's mostly our people. So when you look at that concept, every couple of years he does something outrageous, says a fake semi-apology, and then comes out with a show, comes out with something new, and all our people still out there buying it. Period, point blank. Whether I can afford it or I can't afford it, I never have and I never will buy anything easy. Period. That shit looks dumb. All that shit looks dumb. Fucking Balenciaga, those are Asics and fucking Skechers. And people are buying this shit because they're read by them. Like, I'm just not hip enough to understand the mentality of our people. You see what I'm saying? And that's where some of my frustration comes with our people. We follow the wrong trends and then we complain about the bullshit. at the end of the day. And that's why we're going to continue to stay in the place that we stay within this ladder that we're trying to climb.
Why do people think that Kanye? Why do people consider him a genius? Because I hear people say that a lot, but I just
Because he said it.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that he's a genius. I'm not saying that he's a genius. I'm not saying that he's the smartest person in the world. But no, in general, but you don't become a billionaire being dumb. Any way you want to put it. You don't make that kind of money being dumb. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if they say he got handlers, he got whatever the situation may be. He has entirely too much money, whether it's real, fake, whether it's whatever. On paper, in society, he has entirely too much money to be dumb. You got to look at it like that. I mean, sure, you have people, i.e. Trump, who got money passed down from his father, so forth and so on. But we all know where he came from. We all know, for the most part, how he got to where he is. And a lot of it has to do with us following and supporting the dumb shit that he does. And that's just what it boils down to.
What you go ahead, Alex?
No, I just feel like every couple of years, to Seth's point, he does the same thing. It's a cycle. It's insanity, right? He goes up on this rant, he goes up on this tangent, and then and similar to what Nori was saying that pissed me off, and he was just like, whenever things don't go in people's favor, they sit and say, oh, as a black man, oh, no, I don't want to hear that bullshit. You were wrong. And when things don't go in his favor, then he remembers he's black, and then he says things that gets the black community riled up. Kanye West is right. He drops sneakers. He drops music. Oh, he's this musical genius. And then we're back on his side. We're back on the bandwagon. And then he goes ahead and he does it again. And the excuse we always give him is either, well, yeah, but he's a genius, or maybe he has health issues. And I like the quote that you shared about what that Mandy Moore was saying. I agree with that 1,000%. Maybe he is a genius, or maybe, it is mental illness, but that's not an excuse, to not call him out on his bullshit. And I feel like no one ever calls him out on it. And I think that's dangerous. And I think now, no, go ahead.
No, Alex, no, I want you to keep going. Do you mind reading her quote for the podcast listeners?
Mm-hmm. So Mandy Moore said, it's time for people to stop saying that man is a genius, or that mental illness is an excuse for his blatant anti-Semitism and anti-blackness. You can have compassion for someone's condition, but we also call them out. Words matter.
Go ahead, Alex. You can continue.
Yeah. No, but I was just saying, like, I think overall, my opinion on Kanye West is we're in this big uproar. He's going to semi-apologize. He's going to drop some music. He's going to halfway apologize, and we're going to be back on the bandwagon. Me personally, I don't believe that his musical genius excuses him from the foolishness that he does. Like, it's tiring, it's exhausting, and I feel like Kanye still has the platform he does because we haven't, as consumers, we haven't pulled away. Like, we haven't made a decision. Well, he's this. No. If you're wrong, and that's okay. But you need to stand on the side. Don't, because now you're getting the backlash, do you then want to go ahead and you want to change your stance on things? Like, I don't like it.
You right,
Wouldn't
Alex.
that be some type of intelligence?
It's
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't that be some type of intelligence? If I know that I can do this and it's going to take my numbers up, wouldn't that show some form of intelligence? Why not?
I mean,
if it's about the dollar, if it's about the dollar for me, that's all I give a fuck about is me making these billions, getting this status.
So he's obviously doing something right to be in this realm of financial status that he's in, right? But you know what I think of when we make those excuses? We do that when I hate to make it a race thing, but when little white kids go ahead and they cut up and they're doing, oh, well, he's, he blew up the school, he did this, he that, but he's so smart, or he has these mental health issues, he has this going on. Like, no, we can't make an excuse. No, he was wrong.
It's not an excuse, though. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Don't try to take away from the foolishness. Don't bring up his geniusness and his. Don't do that. Like, he's wrong.
We're the blame, though. We're the blame.
Exactly. It's our fault, not our fault. It's y'all fault.
Yeah, because it's subjective favoritism. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
You know what I'm saying?
But again, this is somebody who said and understood slavery is a choice, right? So if you guys are saying what you're saying here now, and it goes to what Big Seb was saying, that's emotional intelligence. This guy is not dumb. So again, because I understand that black people are enslaved in their mind by way of conditioning, I know I can do this shit and my people are still gonna fuck with me because mentally they're still fucked up. He
He's a
understands
master
that.
manipulator. That's what Kanye West is.
But that's what slave
The
owners were
same reason
too.
we talking about him right now is because he's a master
But
manipulator.
that's what slave
That's what he
owners
is.
were too.
Like,
So when you understand that, you move accordingly. That's
I think it's
genius.
genius.
let me tell you why us minions won't really cut Kanye off 100%. Because we feel like potentially one day Kanye West might do something for us. He ain't doing shit for us. Don't nobody know. We don't know Kanye. We don't know this man. Only his family and his close friends know him. He don't give a fuck about us. All he care about is our dollar. That's it. It's all subjective. That's it. He don't care about us. But we keep everything he do. We keep feeding into that shit, making excuses for it. Just don't pay attention to it. I'm not in Kanye West tax bracket. Do y'all really think his close friends is really gonna fucking cut this man off? He worth $2 billion. You really think they gonna cut him off?
He's worth $6 billion.
Well, whatever he's now, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna cut. He's not gonna lose any sleep over what the fuck we think about him. He don't give a fuck about us.
But
Once we cut him off, though, once them Yeezy sales drop, once them album sales drop, once them concert tickets go from 91,000 to 5,000 seats, then he gonna smarten up. That's what has to happen.
But who's to say that you saying all this now and then fast forward 20 years from now, Kanye was fucking with the culture or the black culture all this time in his own brilliant genius way? Would that make you feel like, damn, maybe I overshot?
Now, you know why, Q? You know why, Q? Because I don't fucking go to sleep at night thinking about Kanye West. We ain't in the same tax bracket. I don't give a fuck about Kanye at all. You know what I'm saying? Now, I guarantee you got people or family members or close friends in your life, you didn't cut the fuck off real quick over less. You know why? Because you really do know them. You really do know them as family and friends. Because you could. I don't need nothing from for Jane Doe or John Doe. Fuck you. I see you in the grave. But somebody famous though, somebody famous that you emotionally attached to. You want to go to their concerts. You want to buy their music. You want to buy their clothes. You want to buy their shoes. You be quick not to cut them off as quick as you might cut off a family member or a friend, because potentially in your mind you're emotionally attached to this person.
But aren't you emotionally attached to your family member?
You might get close to them one day. You ain't never gonna get close to them. Never. Never. It's a fact.
But it goes back to what Hamp was speaking on, is that by way of conditioning, right? So everything that you're saying, that's conditioning, psychological conditioning.
So why keep putting energy? Why keep putting energy into this person? So who's the real dummy? Us or him? Who's crazy?
You just got on Kenny Case for saying slavery wasn't a choice. That's what all this lines up to.
We're crazy at the end of the day, not him, us. This guy's a master manipulator.
I think it boils down to
that shit. We're the dummies.
That was real. I think Bubba's right. It must be the sangria. I actually agree with Q. I think she's absolutely right. Kanye is functioning, and people got to understand this about billionaires and the evil, dirty motherfuckers that run the world. These people function at a very high frequency, and they make sure that people beneath them, I guess that would be us, function at a low frequency, unless you know better and you know otherwise, right? So us low frequency running people down here eat up all that shit. I think Kanye is a fucking genius, not more so from an intellectual perspective. So I agree with Alex on that. More so a genius from a marketing perspective, like Buzz said, from a manipulation perspective, from a I really only give a shit about your money. He knows that irritating the Jews is problematic because they run and own every fucking industry damn near, right? But he's gonna do so scratching the surface. So all this shit is gonna eventually boil over, and come fucking August or whatever, springtime, The new Yeezys is gonna be out. He's gonna put out another fucking fashion show. He already said Watch the Throne 2 is coming. So Jay-Z's already on board, even though he was slighting Jay, he was slighting Puffy. Well, everybody should slight Puffy. But all of that shit, right? So it's just like we're triggered. He wears the White Lives Matter show. He doesn't give a fuck about white people. He's at war with Adidas. He's at war with the Gap. He deaded them motherfuckers, and now their sales drop like a motherfucker. So he knows his power. He knows his prowess, all of that shit, right? Most of his decisions are terrible otherwise. He married a whore and got 4 kids out of that. Like, this nigga is not always on point, right? But for some reason, we get triggered by it. Like, when that first shit came out, I posted on my IG of just like, you niggas get selectively angry about certain shit. Kanye has been fucking with y'all for 20 plus years. Every move that he comes out with that's some bullshit, I just start laughing. I'm like, this nigga is a genius. And again, I'm not talking about intellect. I'm talking about triggering you motherfuckers so y'all can start getting irritated. And for some reason, y'all forget quickly. And you know what, man? Fuck that nigga. 2 weeks later, you know what? Let me get this nigga $800 of my money for a wristband.
But is that really a genius move, though?
It absolutely is. If it's moving a billion motherfuckers to buy.
Isn't that what other artists do whenever they're about to
not
push?
as effectively. No,
not at the level that Kanye.
Not as effectively.
Well, maybe not at the level, but it's maybe he. Okay, I don't know, but it's not, to me. It's nothing special about it, about his tactics, because that's like a thing now. You cause controversy. Now, is it like a step up because he taps into our hurt and our feelings, on that level? Yeah, but would I call that genius? I wouldn't call that genius.
I absolutely would. If it's triggering everyone.
White people do it all the time. If he's a genius, then white people are a genius for triggering us.
But
all
it's like
the time.
Eddie was saying, not genius in the sense of like intellectual. Like, Kanye is the most genius person on this earth. He should create like a new rocket for the world. Like, not like that, but like genius in the path of marketing that he's doing this. And I mean, there's nobody else fucking with that at that level.
There's nobody else willing that has enough courage to go to the extent that he goes.
He got a plan. He got a plan, and if you ain't got a plan, you ain't got a
dollar. Kardashian's been doing this shit for 20 years too.
No,
I salute them. If you can stay on TV for 20 years with no talent at all,
bro, the Kardashians aren't saying George Bush doesn't like black people. That's
outside
not,
of that.
They courage to come out and say stuff like that.
Outside of that, they changed the way our women look. This past 20 years, they fucked women up completely. They changed the game.
And you
completely.
Can't discount what Eddie said. When Eddie said, then he made a poor choice of shooting up the club and marrying Kim Kardashian. We don't know if him just being in that family and being in that circle of those intimate conversations that nobody else gets access to was a part of some brilliant shit that he's gonna pull.
They feed off of each other.
We don't know that.
They feed off of each other. That's why I said earlier, there's no such thing as bad publicity. If you're literally picking up your phone, you're calling paparazzi to say, listen, come watch me take a shit real quick.
That's actively happening. We don't know if that whole Pete Davidson shit even happened. All we know, all of that shit was scripted. If they scripted a whole sex tape and that mother pimped out her daughter the way she did, these motherfuckers are capable of anything. All we know is that we're watching the show. That nigga Kanye probably got his meat inside of Kim Kardashian mouth right now for all we know.
Exactly.
But again, we're being fed low frequency shit. Like Pete Davidson is an active heroin addict. I don't really think Kim Kardashian would allow this motherfucker around the kids. And then he talk about tattooing the kids' names on his body. Like, that shit is wild.
So you think it's all an act, Eddie? You think it's all marketing?
Absolutely. I studied communications in undergrad, man. All of this shit is scripted. All of this shit is scripted. I'm not surprised by the shit because I understand propaganda. So when you look at this shit, if you have any type of emotional reaction, they already got your ass. They already got your ass.
Communications is ranked as the top 5 worst degrees to get.
I hear you.
You know what it is, Eddie? The fact that you agree with me is not because of the sangria. It's because you're actually listening. And I think that's why you understand Kanye the way that you do. Like, let me land. I think that's the reason you shout out to Boo Capone actually, because that's his statement. Let me land. He's a comedian.
Yeah,
But
fuck with
I
Boo.
think that's why you understand Kanye the way that you do. Because if you listen to him over the years, he drops little nuggets. Like if you're actually actively listening to him. And so for those people who say, oh, he's brilliant, he's genius in this, they understand that marketing side that Eddie's speaking to. You could not have studied what Eddie has studied and still get that if you actively listen to a lot of the shit that he says. But people
Yeah,
listen on the
you could
surface
choose
level.
not to listen though. You could choose not to listen and feed into the bullshit. You don't have to respond to everything that he says or does.
But you
can just opt out, right?
Then you
Right?
wouldn't be privy if you're not actively listening.
Right. No, that's real. I listen to all the bullshit. I pay attention. I listen to Fox News. I'll listen to the niggas on BET. I listen to everything to get the message, right? There's something always in between the lines. And that's something that, unfortunately, a lot of black folks don't have that level of critical analysis and don't take their time. And yes, communications may be a bullshit degree for the most part, but I don't know. I think I'm profoundly smarter than most people with advanced degrees from Harvard and all these other places. I've debated those niggas and destroyed them, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I
Effective
think
communication, yeah. More listening than speaking.
Right.
You understand it?
Yeah, intelligence, I think is innate, right? I don't think you learn to be intelligent. I think you can learn stuff like in terms of being smart, but some people can't comprehend or regurgitate what they hear, articulate. So
They're high functioning idiots in very high positions.
yeah. Let me, Mary. Are you? Yeah. I mean, you didn't. Well, you and Isha, only two people in the fucking world that didn't watch the interview.
But
So
why did you watch it? We just talked about how stupid Kanye is. Why did you watch the interview?
who? I didn't say he's stupid.
Or we just bashed him. We bashed Kanye.
Didn't they just say active listening?
But I said before, like everything that he does has a ulterior motive to it. So it's just like it's a reason why he's doing what he's doing. So
Okay.
we just ain't find out yet. So
Okay. So you agree
Mary,
with
you
Eddie?
sleepy or those eyelashes heavy?
Hey,
definitely the wine.
hey, Eddie. I'm the only person that can talk about her eyelashes, man.
Right.
God damn it.
Get him,
Say
man.
we got you in that corner. You straight? Q, you watching them?
Hey,
All
man,
right?
hey, listen, I'm good to go, man. We got the new Fios in here, man, right now. We do.
Okay. Hey, the vials is real. So, all right, let me go around. Let me ask a question. Simple question. I'm gonna let it scroll then, right? Because we kind of uncovered this. So, is Kanye a genius, Adrian?
No.
No. Bub?
Yes.
Chef Eddie?
Absolutely.
Big Sad?
Without a doubt, unfortunately.
Ken?
No.
Alex?
Absolutely not.
Q?
Of course he is.
Aisha?
I believe so.
Mary?
The man know what he doing.
Yeah, I think manipulation. Have you guys ever heard of Machiavelli?
Yeah.
He faked his death. If you read The Prince, so manipulation, I think, is hard to do to that many people. To Eddie's point, Eddie, can you clarify the frequency thing though?
Man,
Oh
I'll
shit!
get too deep into
No, because I know you long-winded. Fuck, I should have. Let me think.
It was gonna keep it short.
Nah, you don't know how to do that.
Nah, you gotta give him the chance here.
All right. Come on, Eddie. I believe in you.
We technically run at a particular frequency, man. There's a particular level of hertz that humans are supposed to run at. Because of programming, TV, cell phone, satellites, all of that, and the people who run it, they make sure to keep us at a certain frequency. that frequency is profoundly low, right? So the level of thinking is low. So you get triggered by shit that you see in the trash room, aka the shade room, or spiritual world, or all these other pages, and you're always focused on dumb shit. Whereas you could elevate higher, as Bub had been saying all night, if you ignore that shit. But most people won't ignore it to be able to enter into a higher frequency. There you go. I kept it short, my nigga.
Oh yeah, good job. I fuck with it. I fuck with it. I fuck with it. There's so much to unpack, you know what I'm saying, with this interview and everything he was saying, you know what I mean? But we never got to this. Is freedom of speech? Is it in jeopardy?
That shit been going, homie.
Let me get Isha. Is it in jeopardy? I mean, you see how I worded it right, just based on this, but it seemed like he was canceled for his opinion. Isha, is freedom of speech in jeopardy?
I believe so. Anytime, even Will Smith or whatever the thing with Will Smith and the comedian wasn't unable to say what he wanted to say about Jada Pinkett Smith. You can't say nothing without the cancel culture. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What you think, A?
Yeah, I like what Eddie said. Like that joint been gone. There's only certain things you can say, but once you start to address the wrong type of people, and well, maybe it's not totally gone. I think people who are willing to stand on it are few, far, and in between. To
Damn
where
right.
you'll be willing to lose everything. It's easy to say it when you don't have nothing.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So like where we are at for the most part, right? It's easy for us all to say what we would do. It's easy for Kenny down there to say, "Hey, I'll die. I would kill." It's easy to say all of this stuff until you actually are in that situation, and then it's time to do it. And so I think 90%, 90 to 95% of people I feel like are not built like that. I feel like most people are not built that they're gonna stand on whatever it is that they believe, no matter what. And I think it's proven. That's why the higher people go, the less that they speak, the more they are willing to be muzzled because they're gonna fall down. People not really willing to lose and die on what they believe and what they stand on. So I will say it's there. I just think with everything that comes with operating in it, people are not willing to pay that price.
So you saying it is a choice?
It's a choice. Not the slavery stuff. I ain't with them there, but I think speech is definitely a choice.
But
Now,
you're saying you can choose not to. Like Kenny is
right.
saying, technically they could have said, "I'm gonna die" as opposed to go through this. I guess.
Yeah, but
Technically, right?
right, but two, you got to think about their whole mindset and them being conditioned too. Like that matters. Had you been born to slaves, you would literally only know what they knew, only had access to that information, that environment, etc.
Yeah.
The only reason why you think the way you think now is because of the things that you've been exposed to, the things that you have read, the different places that you have explored. So if all of those things would have been controlled for hundreds of years and then you were brought into that, you would think the same exact way. So your process wouldn't be, oh, let me just kill myself because I don't want to have to go through this. You would think, okay, this is the norm. And that's what the majority of people do.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, not me.
Look, I mean, if someone slapped me, that hurts. It hurts. I know that's not good. It's not good to get slapped in the face. It hurts. So I understand if you're born into it. I get it. But it hurts. It's not supposed to hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you talk about the people who they get the Mike Tysons, I gotta go back to that because look, they get the Mike Tysons and they do whatever, they bug break them in front of everybody, they do whatever. I get it, you know what I'm saying? And it causes the lesser man to like not want to buck up. I get it. But to me, I find it I correlate that with how us good black men, and we say we're good. Most of us say we're good. You know, the same way white people say white people are good. But we say, hey, if you're a good white person, you're supposed to check the bad ones. That's what we tell them. But with us good black men, the same way the Mike Tysons in slavery caused the lesser people to not want to buck up. To me, I look at that how in our communities we have terrorists that run around. literal terrorists. And us good black ones, we're not stepping in to uh cause some friction to make sure that our children could go outside and play and not get shot in the forehead. We don't take that action. So I see what you're saying, how you're conditioned to not want to buck up against Massa because he buck broke Tyson. The same way we won't buck up against the terrorists because we don't want to get hurt. We won't snitch even if someone killed Grandma Sue over there because we don't want to whatever. It's conditioning. I get it, but that ain't everybody. There are people out there who are willing, to put themselves on the line for whatever that they believe in. I agree, it's few, but there are people who are still out there that's willing to die on what they believe in.
Are you one of those people, you think, Kenny?
I know.
You are?
I know.
So yes.
Whatever I believe in, and I'm passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing on it. No matter what's at stake. If it's something that I really care about. I mean, I'm living it in life like right now. I'm taking a stand against a force in life, and the consequences of that is something that will leave a lasting imprint on my life. Nonetheless, it's a choice, and I choose to stand on what I believe, no matter what I lose.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I know. In the Bronx, the young boys killed some nigga over cold fries. So, but I get it.
Look, dude, uptown, his sister was 16 years old and she was messing with an 18-year-old. There was like boyfriend and girlfriend. He broke up with her. She was upset. She got a brother, followed him to his mom's house, got in the hallway, stabbed him, burned him up in the hallway. Dude just burnt, crisp.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it goes down.
Word. Sad. What up, though? Freedom of speech.
Tell me,
Dead.
man.
Is freedom of speech in danger? Is it dead? What's up?
It's in danger. It's dead. It's gone, man. Unfortunately, you can't have a opinion that goes against the masses overall. You have to accept what people want you to accept, or you are basically phobic of whatever it is that they believe. You don't agree with whatever they believe, and that's a problem. And that's what's wrong with the society as it is today. Nobody is allowed to have an opinion, and people's opinions aren't valued.
But you are, though. Can we change the wording that we choose not to have an opinion, and we choose not to, if you talk about the LGBT folks, you know what I'm saying? You know what's going to come, you know what I'm saying? But we choose not to. I'll give you an example. I was on set one day and it was a white trans woman on set. She said her name was Shauna. I call you Shauna. Boom. She started talking about the Harvey Weinstein stuff. And I'm like, I don't really want to get in that, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how I feel about it, and it could wrinkle some stuff, And she persisted to want to know. I told her it was like a little whoop. And I told her that, you still have the mind of a man. Now, when I said that, it shifted a bit. It was a shift, and she went to, the lead on set and told her what I said. And, had a conversation, you know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, that was a choice. So it's not, we choose, just say we choose.
I don't know, Kenny, if I could interject, man, you're essentially proving Kanye's point, and you've done so on a couple of examples, because even in that example, this white trans woman, man, whatever, decided on one end to have a conversation with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the other end, they were reminded that they have their white privilege, they have their male privilege, and still decided to silence your voice, even though you projected, hey, I'm not trying to go into that. Whatever choice, you said the word choice you made to engage in that conversation, they still decided to fuck you over.
No, no, no,
Right?
no, 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 no. They let's see. Let's throw keywords in there. Tried is the
But
keyword.
again, it's to the point
Tried.
where Kanye's
I
talking about the little hats having that same similar power that this white trans man woman attempted to exercise with you.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's within the same vein. Again, we already discussed whether we agree with Kanye or not, but it's that same thing, right? And I know you're not trying to make no excuse for it, but it's like you're teetering along that line. It's just
No,
like,
I agree that we're in a fucked up place in life in society that people get upset over literally anything. Like we make bad things, we make good things bad, and we just find something wrong with everything. I get it. We're in a really bad place. I totally get it. Nonetheless, I'm still standing on that there's choices out here for you guys, and you guys don't have to, cross your legs and just sit there looking simple in the
but you say
face. You don't
standing
have to
on it,
do
but you still decided to have that conversation. And then
right.
that motherfucker decided to go the lead and basically try to snitch on you.
Yeah,
Right?
they definitely did it. Yeah,
I'm saying prior to that even
that's fucked up.
happening,
Yeah.
you didn't stand on not wanting to have the conversation.
You could have just walked
Well,
away.
I could have, but I chose to have the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
It just sounds contradictory. That's all, bro. It just
No,
sounds
when
a
I'm
little
saying that
hypocritical.
it's a choice, I chose to have the conversation. I could have just been like, you know what? I know how I feel about this. It goes against what most people feel about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit to the side. But no, I'm a conversationalist, so I engaged in the conversation, knowing that there's could potentially cause a problem. So I chose to do that.
I
I'm not acknowledging that we're not in a fucked up place. I get it. We are. Nonetheless, there's still choices out here for everyone.
Hmm. I don't know. I'm pondering what Adrian said. I'm wondering if that would happen to me. Like if I got so high that my family would make me weaker. In that high meaning like up the ladder, whatever the case is. If my family would make me that weak to where I wouldn't want to lose all this stuff, or myself, would I get that weak? 'Cause I feel that's weak a little bit. Like would I lose myself?
I don't think you would, considering your character. Because I
Yeah.
know I wouldn't.
Ham, can I say this? I find it like
No.
quite okay. No, I really want to say this for real, for real.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like Halloween, like we all can like be the people who we want to be.
No, that's why I knew I said no.
No, listen, wait.
All right,
Listen,
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What's
Go
going
ahead.
on, man?
Hey,
listen.
Make
Kenny,
it quick.
please, why you
No,
gotta
listen.
break Halloween? Come
No,
on,
because listen. There's method to my
brother.
madness. Okay, listen.
We talking
So
about masks now? Oh boy, go.
no, my point is that, like I said the last show, many of motherfuckers don't even know who they are in life. And on Halloween, they could be who they really want to be once a year. We're not going to walk outside in a costume because we're afraid of what everyone's going to think or say about us. You know what I'm saying? So, but technically, y'all done lost yourselves. I ain't saying you, or you, but y'all done bent, y'all done fold, y'all done crumpled up just to fit into the little space to fit into whether it's your friend group, whether it's the boys on the corner, whether it's the people at the job. You're still bending yourself, not being authentic to who you really are to get what it is that you're trying to get out here. So y'all don't even know who the fuck y'all are.
Kenny, that's not factual. We gotta put you on mute. We gotta put you on mute. That's not factual.
At all. At all. I don't know. Like very few on here actually know or follow me on here, but I know Ham do, and he'll know, and he knows. I'm gonna stand on what I stand on. To avoid certain situations, I'm not gonna just approach it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go towards that situation. However, if I'm asked, if it's brought to me, I'm going to say what I feel and how I feel about it. That's just what it is. So when you're saying choices, Kenny, I chose because of the word that I chose to use because of the subject that you mentioned in regards to the trans person calling Shonda, yada, yada, yada. I'm not calling nobody that I recognize as a man a woman's name. I'm not, period. And that's what I stand on. And people feel how they feel about it. That doesn't make me homophobic, which that's what some will classify me as, just because I don't go along with what someone feels should happen. You know what I mean? And that's where some of the problems come in with me, and why I just choose not to address none of the shit at the end of the day. Because I'm not going to sit here and say this grown-ass man or this grown-ass woman who obviously looks like a grown-ass man or looks like, because once you open Pandora's box of acceptance, then you have to accept everything that goes along with it. So once I say, okay, I recognize that this guy is a girl, now when it comes to sports, when it comes to anything in life, I can't sit here and say, oh, but that's not fair. You done already accepted it. So once you accept one part of it, you got to just take everything else that comes with it. And that's just what it boils down to for me. So I'm going to stand on what I stand on, period, point blank. And that's just where it goes.
Mary, would you say so? Kenny saying motherfuckers just talking. Adrian says something similar. What do you think? Jesus Christ. You had one fucking cup of Wild Irish Rose. Now you can't function.
No, because it's not even just me. Like, this whole thing is just all over the place. Like, I don't even know where to focus in at. Like, this whole thing, you can't tell me I'm lying. Like, this whole thing is just all over the place.
I know, but I asked you a pointed question.
Okay.
Don't drink. Listen, what Sunoco did you fucking go to?
It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with what I'm drinking. What I'm saying is this whole shit has been all over the place. Like, now we're talking about gay people. Like, I just don't know.
Well, no, it was an example. It was an example of people standing on a square, and Kenny used a real life situation, and then said continued on that path by using that same example.
I feel like I stand on my own square, and that's all that matters. I stand on everything that I say and everything that I do.
But okay, so all right, thanks. So everybody want their picture on the motherfucker.
That's what she said.
Right, for real, like, this is what it is. Like, this.
But you have an opinion for the macro, right? So, do you think that Kenny and Adrian have a point, or do you think that Bub and Said have a point based on people's character and they're not gonna fold? Because Adrian said it's easier said than done when you don't have that much to lose, and Kenny said niggas is what's the word, capping.
I feel like everybody has their own point based off their own experiences. Like, I've said this before. Like,
put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
All right, yeah. Thanks, Mary. Alex.
So, are we no longer allowed to share our opinion? No, not without consequences.
Fuck that. Answer that.
No.
The question.
Let me get there. Not without consequence. I agree with Adrian's point. I think the higher up you go, the more you have to lose. You have to be a little bit more mindful. But for me, I think there is a time and place to say what you think and how you feel. And then it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I think a lot of times the individuals who who experience the consequences of things, they're the ones with the most to lose. Me personally, there are things that I'm very selective on in what I say, because for me, I have a lot to lose. There's a lot of things that I want to attain, and it's not about being scared. It's just similar to, I think, what Seth said. Unless you ask me, I'm not just going to go and volunteering my thoughts, my feelings, and everything like that. And I think maybe it's conditioning. Maybe it's because I do have that fear of losing certain things, but I don't think everything deserves a comment or a response at all points in time. And then when I do make that choice, because we're using the word choice, I cannot be surprised when people respond a particular way.
Let me ask you a question, though, based on something you just said. Is freedom of speech in danger, yes or no?
I said yes.
because if you're saying it's not what you say but how you say it, said's example said, no, I don't support, just hypothetically, I don't support the LGBTQIA plus. They will try to come at you for simply saying you don't support and you didn't say anything all outlandish. I just like what Kanye was saying. He didn't say anything ridiculous for them to call him anti-Semitic. So it what you say or how you say it or who you say it to?
But I think it's both, and I think it's also, like I said before, it's the time and the space that you say it. You don't just go and, as said mentioned, if he is asked a question, then he'll go ahead and he will respond accordingly. He's going to stand on what he said, but you don't just go ahead and just for fuck's sake, I'm just going to just say the first thing that comes to my mind when no one asks me about it. There's a time and a space for it. Some conversations to have with certain people, and some conversations you know what, that's not the best place for me to have this type of conversation, this type of response. Similar to Kenneth, my response to an individual be like, something, this is not a work appropriate conversation for me to have with you. And he made that choice, despite his better judgment, to go ahead and respond, and then the consequences were what they were. So he made that choice. He took a gamble. He shared his opinion, but there were consequences. So are we no longer allowed? So are we no longer allowed to share our opinions? No, not without consequence. It's in jeopardy.
But also, I think too, like even with me saying, like I think to switch it up, I think as you grow, you have to be able to do that too. Now you're reaching a bigger audience. You know what I'm saying? So now you have to be more strategic with your presentation. It's one thing to sit here and it's just us, or for me to just have a conversation with like my homeboys, or how we talking about men or women. That's a totally different thing if now all of a sudden my following is like all young girls, right? So yeah, you can still stand on what you stand on, but that delivery and the wording can look totally different.
But isn't that some of the problem with the society right now is that we can't agree to disagree no more. Like we literally can't do that. We can't literally only have our, like, again, all I use is examples. Like let's say Kenny. I have no problem with being around Kenny, being on here with Kenny, being anything around with Kenneth. I have other friends who are part of whatever community you want to call it, that I hang around, I've been around, don't care about. You see what I'm saying? It is what it is. But at the end of the day, whatever he chooses to do is what he chooses to do, whether I agree with what he does or not. It shouldn't matter whether I agree with what he does or not. It doesn't matter. Just like he might not agree with something that I do. So I have friends that's in the streets. I don't agree with what they do. Am I phobic of them because I don't agree with what the fuck they do? No, I just don't agree with what the fuck they do. They do what the fuck they do. That's what they do. I don't have it doesn't matter to me. But those are still folks that I'm cool with or whatever at that distance. And that's just where it is in society. It's like you just can't agree to disagree no more.
Do you think they're doing something wrong?
Yes, I'll say yes. They're doing something wrong at the end of the day. However, I understand why they're doing something wrong.
But how can you stand by if it's wrong?
It's not that I stand by it. It's not that I stand by it.
You stand by while it's happening, right?
No, I don't stand by it. That's what I say. I don't be with. I'm not around, but I know what they do. But I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, I know what you do," so I'm about to go do this, and this. Not that's not my place. Like I don't agree with what you do, so I'm gonna be over here in this space. You see what I'm saying?
Isn't that what Kenny was saying? Why we so fucked up? Because nobody don't intervene.
What is the intervention of if we, depending on what subject that you want to broach? You know what I mean? If we're gonna go with the homosexuality piece, then I can say what I say. He's going to feel how he feels about it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But there's nothing to really change his situation, what he chooses to do, or how I feel about that situation. So why even get into it?
Well, to Hamp's point, there are many things that our homeboys, our home skillets, and our home slices, and our girlfriends, and our brothers, what they do on a daily basis, and we literally just watch them do it.
I don't. Hey, Kenny, not me.
Okay, well,
mean,
that's
I
you.
mean,
But
We
when
ain't
I
talking
say
about the
we, I'm not
rappers.
saying you guys. I'm saying us.
nah,
I mean us as a black community. Obviously, that's what we do because terrorists run amok. So because you check whomever, and I may check my brother or whomever's around my friend group, and said may check whomever. Well, the our community as a whole says something otherwise. So obviously somebody's not doing something. Someone isn't checking somebody the same way we still, when you talking about the celebrities and shit, like we can't even figure out whether we're gonna cancel R. Kelly or not.
well,
Like there are people in our real families who are R. Kelly's, and we
mm,
invite them to the Thanksgivings, to the birthday parties.
I'll
We
say
don't
we.
that's
intervene.
why I said earlier, it's subjective. It's who likes who. It's what you prefer. You know what I'm saying? And we all guilty of that. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? All that shit is subjective, bro.
but
All of
he,
it.
Down,
but
like it
he's
goes back to that. Are we allowed our own opinions? Like if
Mhm.
like however we feel about whoever is strictly our opinion on that person and what they're doing. Like
Yeah.
that's okay that we feel the way we feel about whatever the fuck is going on. It doesn't mean somebody else has to follow that. It doesn't mean somebody else has to abide by
Exactly.
that. It just means this is what I feel at this time because of my knowledge at this point. I've known a lot of times, like me as an individual, like I have felt differently because it's like okay, this is what happened and this is what I feel at this point. But somebody else can give me some additional knowledge on something and I can look at something at a different point, and that's where my opinion changes. But overall, like, am I allowed to have my own opinion on something? Yes. Does that mean that I'm bashing somebody? Does that mean I'm a bad person? Does that mean anything towards at all? No, it doesn't. It just means this is how I feel. Like a lot of the issue is the fact that people cannot agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's one of the biggest issues is that people can't agree to disagree. Like some
Yo,
people
listen,
think that one person is doing something is wrong and the other person may feel like it's not wrong.
yo,
Everybody got
Mary,
behind this
let's
shit.
use this platform, Mary. Let's use this platform, Mary. The title of this platform is "This Might Be Risky," right? So people watch this shit, they be all in the comments, right? We tell them all the time, if you got something to say, you got an opinion, hit that link. Come on, say what the fuck you got to say. But you know what? They be shook. You know why? Because they're afraid of what other people gonna think about 'em. That's some bullshit. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Hand created this platform is popping. The end of everybody that's on this platform right now, I would think, is confident and secure in
They gonna stand
themselves
on
and
what they say.
potentially going particularly going to use their own mind and speak their own truths and use their own voices. But a lot of people don't though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
but
people don't.
My thing is it's okay to have a different opinion. It's okay to have a different mindset.
It is.
In
It's
the
actually
process,
great.
don't
That's what
treat
we
people
champion.
poorly. Like just
but
don't treat people poorly in the process. That's all I
Well,
feel.
nah, that's not what. But I think we slightly off the point. People are doing things that are not positive in the community, and we stand by and letting it rock. He not talking about people's orientation, right? That isn't necessarily hurting or harming anybody. He talking about you selling dope, niggas is shooting each other, niggas not taking care of their kids, so on and so forth. And we standing by and letting that shit happen.
Ain't saying
People,
not a
he just
damn
have a
thing.
bunch of friends that's deadbeat baby daddies. Like, please.
No, no, that's Mary. I'm saying that's this type of shit he's talking about. He not talking about who a nigga go sleep with. He talking about we watch a lot of shit go on, and we just let the shit happen around us because we think to each his own. But our community is suffering from it. True, false.
Yeah.
Mary, on the podcast, they won't be able to hear that nod. Can you say it?
It is what it is.
Well, and
Also, when you talk about the point about Mr. Big said, um
You wild as shit, bro.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say
Ooh,
pause behind that or not. But I don't do that game.
No
Whatever.
need.
You know what the fuck
No
I
need.
mean. Okay. I'm grown. I'm pushing 40 soon.
There you go.
4 years.
Do
Anyway,
you. Do you.
bro. So look, I get it, right? Everybody don't wanna, I get it, right? Going back to the man shit, right? The trans shit. So yeah, I know you're born a man and you want to play dress up, you know what I'm saying? And you ask me to call you broccoli, and I'm gonna be like, all right, broccoli, what up? You know what I'm saying? Why? Because Killer Monk in the neighborhood ain't killing nobody, but we call him Killer Monk.
Like
We
Killer
call
Mike.
niggas names all the time that ain't their real names, and it's not giving what it's giving.
Yo, Kenny, you Jewish? I'm looking at your last name.
I don't go by any of those titles. Look, I'm a child of God. Period. My ethnicity is a spirit. My ethnicity is a spirit, and I'm a child of God. Period. Any other title, don't give it to me. I ain't a part of nothing. I'm a child of God. Period.
It's a historically Jewish name. That's all.
I know it's my grandfather's. They're like other shit. I just can't. We are the real Jews, though.
We are.
Yeah.
That we are.
Yeah.
That
My
we
name's not Fitzgerald.
Hey man, interesting. Yeah, y'all need to start studying Hebrew too. By the way, just putting that out there. Hey, listen, man. Oh, Mary, you the last lady, man. You made it.
Hey.
These yo, and they, oh my god, the only person that worked hard is Isha.
Don't be trying to play my friend.
Now, but Shay was at a conference, so she was actually working.
Man, she was too busy trying to order whiskey. She told me she never had whiskey before. I don't know, man. Mary, all right, fuck it. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, man. Listen, this been crazy, man. I'm gonna have a good time chopping this up because we hit a whole lot of topics, and as opposed to stifling it, I just let it ride, and I think that we got some substance from it for sure. You know what I mean? So I don't really fuck with Jerry Springer, but I do like one of his constructs. Chef Eddie, final thought.
Always speak your mind. Be mindful of the environment, but don't be disrespected in 2022 or further.
Word. Big Sad.
Stand on what you stand on. Unfortunately, society has created that opinions don't matter, but you have to realize that your opinion does matter, if not to anybody else, but to you.
A+.
Hey man, love yourself, yo. I know it don't got nothing to do with what we was talking about, but I just want everybody to love themselves today, yo.
Kenneth.
Like, yo, be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, get to know yourself, and like A said, love yourself, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Say what you mean and mean what you say. Okay, I'm done.
All right, Bob.
All this fake mad shit, knock it off. The majority of the time, it's not the message, it's the messenger. Shout out to Dr. Umar.
What?
Let's get it.
Not Umar.
Let's get it.
Speaking of messages, right?
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basically, pay attention, stay alert, and remember, choose your own path.
Oh shit! I like that.
I got some thinking to do, man, because I can't. No, let me send that to you right now. Now, everybody like to interrupt my final thoughts, so this is mine. Last time Mary cut me off. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead. You want to compliment Bub's commercial? Go ahead.
Who, me?
Yeah, the commercial that we just
Oh
played.
no, I'm just saying I fuck with it. I like it.
All right, yeah, that's Bub shit.
Nice.
All right,
Nice,
so
Bub.
I got Kent. God damn it. So hey man, just analyzing, right? Because what Kenny said really hit home. Like, I feel like I'm not afraid to say whatever, but I just wonder if I'm saying enough, because I know some cats that haven't taken care of their children, so on and so forth, and have I intervened, have I checked them or held them accountable? You know what I'm saying? Because we don't be afraid to get in a fight in the club or this, that, and the third, but you see somebody right next to you that you know doing something wrong, and if you stand next too close to them, you're gonna be associated with it. Because I know if I walk up to fight a bunch of niggas and you standing too close to the nigga I want to fight, I assume that we fighting too. So if I'm in proximity to people that's doing the wrong thing and I okay it, I guess I'm what's the word I'm looking for? Perpetuating it, right? In some way, shape, or form. So I got to do a better job. I got to really assess to see how well I'm doing in the community and if I could do more. So like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. We out.